Okay, I'm getting ready to do a transfer of a classic American Pilsner, my first attempt at lager. I'm going to do a transfer with CO2 from the orange kegs that have been in secondary fermentation for about 3 weeks at 35 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and use a jumper to transfer with CO2 into the receiving kegs, the black ones, in preparation for clarification and carbonation. And I've removed the blow-off hoses and pressured up the receiving kegs, the black ones, with about 20 pounds of CO2 and tested them for air leaks. So I'm going to release the pressure in those and purge the receiving tanks. But before I get started, I cut down one of the dip tubes on the liquid side of the sending keg. So I cut it down 3/4 of an inch. So it'll leave the trub and the yeast cake on the bottom. And so I'll switch it out when I get ready to transfer the second one. Next thing, I spray everything down with sanitizer. Get ready to put the jumper hose on from the liquid side of the sending tank into the liquid side of the receiving tank. But before I do anything, I want to make darn sure that I release the pressure in the receiving keg. Otherwise, it'll just turn everything into a great big keg of foam. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull a sample for a gravity reading before I hook up the jumper to the receiving keg. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up the gas line with no pressure in it before I turn on the regulators to the CO2. And then gradually I'm going to screw down up the CO2 to where there's just a couple pounds of pressure, and that'll be enough to push it into the... Alright, that's enough, so I'll just pull off the liquid line there, and we can go ahead and hook the jumper up and continue with our transfer. Okay, I've hooked up the jumper from the output side of the sending keg, or the liquid line that goes to the bottom, into the liquid line, and so it goes into the bottom of the receiving keg. I'm vented, so I'm going to give it about 5 pounds of pressure, and we're transferring beer. Okay, while we're transferring, I went ahead and took the gravity reading. I don't know if we can see it on here, but it's 1018 it looks like. And the clarity looks pretty darn good to me. I'm not going to complain. I can read the temperature gauge through the beer in the container here. Now the split second that I start seeing foam coming out of the sending keg, I want to pull off the liquid line so that it doesn't blow some foam, CO2 foam, into the bottom of the receiving keg. Okay, the first transfer went real smooth, so now I'm going to continue to do the second one. Once again, make sure that I release the pressure in the receiving keg. Hook up the liquid line. Hook up the liquid line to the second keg. close the valve, hook up the gas line to the second keg, very gradually turn up the pressure to 5-ish, and we're transferring beer into the second keg. And I forgot to release the pressure valve so that the gas can escape as it fills. So we're where we're supposed to be now. I'm guessing it's getting pretty close, so I'm going to be ready to unhook the liquid line just as soon as I see some foam starting to come out of here. Here she blows, just like that. Shouldn't have got too much foam in the bottom of the receiving keg. So we got the transfers, both of them done. I'm going to put them in the kegerator, put them on some CO2 and let them sit for a couple weeks.